So recently I joined a few soap groups on Facebook, and I often discover smaller soap companies on there that I would otherwise never hear of. So a few weeks ago I saw a video for a small soap company called Making Good Scentz where the owner was making soap by hand. I wasn't exactly sure what kind of soap he made, but I messaged him to ask if he made all natural soap like Dr. Squatch and other natural soap companies. And he told me that he uses mostly natural ingredients, but that he adds some fragrance and essential oils along with some colorants. And because of that, he doesn't advertise as a natural soap company, even though most of his ingredients are natural and are healthier than the typical stuff you buy at the store. But that most of his bars do have heavier fragrances and colorants than Dr. Squatch. And as my viewers know, I typically don't like fragrancy soaps, but I was still curious about his soaps and wanted to try some of them out. I knew they would have a heavier scent than most other natural soap companies, but thought there'd be some that weren't too loud. And as I was looking over his menu, I noticed that the soaps were less expensive than most others I've seen online. Most of them go for $4.95 a bar. So I told him I do soap reviews on YouTube and asked if he wanted to send me any samples for me to review on my channel. He told me he takes soap making very seriously and wanted me to make an honest review of some of his soaps and see if I can help him improve his soaps in any way. So he sent me a few samples, and then I went to his site and bought a slew of other soaps so I would have a wide selection of soaps to review for the video. So here we are. It's been a few weeks since I got the soaps. Because I knew they were going to be fragrancy, I went ahead and opened the package and let them air out. So after I did that, they weren't too fragrancy, and I went ahead and gave them all the sniff test, and I tested a few of them out in the shower. Okay, so first off, let me just say that Making Good Scentz is not a soap company for men. There are a few soaps in the catalog that are for men and some that are unisex, but most of them are geared more towards women. And I think some of these scents are actually for kids too. So if you're looking for more masculine scents, most of these aren't going to be for you. As most of you know, I don't like loud and perfumery soaps. And these soaps are definitely more fragrancy than I like. But most of them are not too bad. There are a few that are too loud for me, but there are actually a few that I actually really like. So as always, it boils down to your preference and what you're looking for in a soap. Now before I go over each scent and tell you what I think, I do want to point out that these soaps are very well made and he does a good job with them. I don't like every scent, but I can say every one of these bars is good quality. So I have a total of 16 bars here. I would have 18, but 2 of them I bought for my mother's birthday and already gave them to her. I bought her Honeysuckle and Lilacs in the Rain, and she loved both of them, especially the Lilacs in the Rain. And I smelled both of them, and I thought they actually both smelled really good. They did have fragrance, but it wasn't too strong. These are 2 bars that I would recommend, but not for men, but definitely for women. Alright, so I'm going to quickly go over all 16 of these bars. Alright, so first I'm going to go over the 3 that I tested out in the shower. The first one is Mint and Tea Tree Charcoal. This one smells pretty good. The fragrance is not too strong. I'll go ahead and show you a close up there. And every one of these bars has an oatmeal exfoliant. Yeah, this is not too strong. It smells good. So I actually really like this bar. So this is actually one that I would recommend for men and women. Next up is another scent that I like. This one's called Rain. I like the way this one smells. It's pretty mellow as well. Here, let me show you the package. Up at the top, you can see the name of the bar. This one's simply called Rain. He renovated his packaging not too long ago. I actually think it looks really good. And he created a very distinctive logo. It's very simple, but it's distinctive. And when you see that icon, it makes you think of the company, which is the point of a logo. It does have a stronger fragrance than I typically like, but it's not too bad. It's still pretty mellow for the most part. I like the way this bar looks too. And like I said, they all have an oatmeal exfoliant, as you'll see on all of the bars. Yeah, I like the way this one smells. And this is another scent that I think men and women would both like. And the last one I tested out, clover and aloe. I think this one smells really good. This one reminds me of Cool Fresh Aloe by Dr. Squatch. It smells very similar. The fragrance is a little stronger, and some people may actually like that. If you like Cool Fresh Aloe by Dr. Squatch, but you wish that the scent was a little stronger, you should definitely give this one a try. Show you what it looks like up close. You can see these bars look really good. He does a good job with these bars. Some of the scents are too fragrancy for me, but they look good though. And you can see the oatmeal exfoliant. If you like Dr. Squatch's Cool Fresh Aloe, you should definitely consider giving clover and aloe a try. So the next bar I got is called Granny's Simple, and this is simply an unscented bar. Now there is a very, very light apple scent, but it's really buried. You hardly notice it. It's still soft enough that this can get away with being called unscented, even though there is a very, very, very slight apple scent buried at the bottom. Now the reason I got this is because I like unscented bars because I like to use them as hand soaps. Because I'm always doing soap reviews, when I wash my hands at the sink, I don't want that soap to interfere with the soap that I reviewed that day. And what I actually do with unscented soaps is I like to cut them into pieces so that they'll fit at my sink easier and to extend its life. So now we have a hand soap. So I cut them into thirds, which will make this bar last longer. All right, next up, Love Smell. Now this one does have fragrance, but it's not too strong. It actually is mellow enough that I think it smells good. It's citrusy, and it's combined with some other scents. I can't quite pinpoint exactly what it is, but overall, it does smell really good, and this is a bar that I think men and women would both like. I'll show it to you real quick. This bar looks good. You can see that oatmeal exfoliant in there, and this one is very colorful. Yeah, I like the citrus scent here. It's like orange and maybe some peach or something else with it. And yeah, it does have some fragrance, but it's not too strong. So overall, this is a bar that I think men and women would both like. Next up, Sunny Citrus. And this one actually does smell a little like the previous bar, Love Smell. And this one is citrusy, but it's also a little spicy. And this one, like the other one, it does have fragrance, but it's not too strong. Go ahead and show you what it looks like there. You can see the exfoliant in there. Yeah, and just like the Love Smell bar, I think this one would also be good for men and women. So those are the first 6, and those are the ones that I like the best. Now on to the other ones that I didn't like quite as much. Next up, Blackberry Cream. Now this has some strong fragrance. This smells like candy. This is a bar that kids will love. Not only is this not a bar for men, I don't even think this is a bar for women. I think this is a bar for kids. I think kids will love this scent. So Steve, I'm not sure who you were aiming this bar to go for, but honestly, I think this is a home run for the kids. Probably not so much for adults, but I think kids will go crazy for it. And the same for the next one up, peppermint. I think this is decent, but I think this one, like the previous one, would also be more for kids. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe some adults do like this one, but this peppermint version just seems like kids would be drawn to it more than adults. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you can start a soap company that creates all kinds of scents that kids will love, you will sell a lot of bars of soap. So keep that in mind, Steve. Okay, next up, Thick as Thieves, and this is the first bar that I hated. I think this one reeks. I don't like the scent of this one. I think he told me this one was pretty popular. So, I don't know. Sometimes the more popular bars I just hate. I don't know. This one stinks to me. I don't like it. I hate this scent. So, no go for me on this one. I think there's some kind of spice in here, but it smells like medicine to me. Hey, if other people like it, good for them, but don't put this in my stocking at Christmas. Alright, next up, eucalyptus and lavender. Now this is a scent that is good, but it's too strong for me. It's too fragrancy for me, but women will love this one. This one actually is really good. I just don't like it because it's just too fragrancy for me. You can see the oatmeal exfoliant in there, and it looks good. It has a good scent. It's just too strong for me. This is something I don't think most men would like, but I think women would love it. I think these would go in the same category as the lilacs in the rain and the honeysuckle bars that I mentioned earlier. Next up, Old Bourbon Barrel. I'm not too crazy about this one. You know what this smells like to me? A raisin cinnabon. Here, but look at the texture on this bar. It looks really good. It's just too sweet for me. It's just too fragrancy. Next up, Perfect Man. And this one is very cologne-y. It just smells like cologne, but it's too fragrancy. It's too strong for me. I don't like this scent, but I do like the way this bar looks. Look at that. It's a great looking bar. You can see that oatmeal exfoliant in there. I really like the shade of blue on this one. It looks really good. It's just too strong. It's too fragrancy for me. Now this is a bar that's not for women. I think it's more for men, but even more so than men, I think teenage boys would love this bar. Next up, teakwood and cardamom. I don't like this one. I would say this one is my second least favorite of the bundle behind Thick as Thieves. It smells like a spice cake, but it's just too fragrancy for me. It's not really powerful. It's not too strong. It's just that it's more fragrancy than it needs to be, in my opinion. This is just a scent that I don't like. Next one up is actually a bar he said he created for me. It's called Stud. This one smells pretty good. It's a little too strong for me. It's not too strong, but it's a little stronger than I like. But I do like the scent. I just think it'd probably be a little better if it was toned down a bit more. It's not nearly as strong as Perfect Man. It's not that fragrancy. It's just a tad more fragrancy than I like. It smells like a subtle cologne. Go ahead and pull it out and show you what it looks like up close. Yeah, it looks good. Oatmeal exfoliant in there, as you can see. Yeah, I like this. I like it, but I just don't love it. If it was toned down more, I could possibly love it. But I could see a lot of guys out there who would love this. This is one of the bars in the catalog that is more for men than women. Next up, Egyptian Amber. And this is a scent like Stud. I like the scent, but it's a little too strong for me. And like the Stud bar, it's not too strong, it's just stronger than I like. But this is a scent that I could see being very popular among both men and women. And last of the bundle, Extra Aged Bourbon. This one has a good scent, but it's a little too sweet for me. Go ahead and open it up and show you what it looks like. Oh yeah, look at the texture there. Yeah, that's a good bar of soap. Look at those ingredients in there. You can see that oatmeal exfoliant. Like I said, there's oatmeal exfoliant in all of these bars. And this bar does have a good scent. It's just that it's a little too sweet, a little too fragrancy for me personally. But I do think a lot of other people would really like this bar. So out of the 18 bar bundle, there were only 2 that I disliked. Thick as Thieves and Teakwood and Cardamom. I especially don't like Thick as Thieves. And then there were 2 I didn't care for, Old Bourbon Barrel and Perfect Man, because they were just too fragrancy. And 2 other scents I didn't care for, Blackberry Cream and Peppermint, because these just smelled too sweet and like they were for kids. And then 2 other scents that I liked okay, Extra Aged Bourbon and Egyptian Amber. I thought these would have been better if the scents were toned down. And then 2 more that I liked, but I think they would benefit if they were toned down, Stud and Egyptian Lavender. And out of the 18, there are 8 of them that I liked. The Honeysuckle and Lilacs in the Rain, Love Smell, Sunny Citrus, Granny Simple, Rain, Mint and Tea Tree Charcoal, and Clover and Aloe. So out of the 18 bar bundle, I actually really like 8 of them. So considering that I don't like fragrancy soaps, I think that's really good. And it probably means that a lot of you who are watching who do like stronger fragrances would really like these soaps. So of these 12 unused bars, guess what? I am going to ship them over to Little Mac J TV and let him, his wife, and his kids review these soaps. I think his daughter will love Blackberry Cream. I think his younger son's going to like Peppermint. I think his wife will love Eucalyptus Lavender. I think his boys will like Perfect Man. I think they'll all like Love Smell. And for the other bars, you're going to get a lot of mixed opinions. We'll see if they agree with me on Thick as Thieves or not. So if you're not subscribed to Little Mac J TV, you should go over there and subscribe so that you can catch his review when he makes it. And of this 18 bar bundle, if I had to pick one as my favorite, I think I would pick Clover and Aloe. Like I said, it really does smell like Cool Fresh Aloe from Dr. Squatch, and that's a compliment. I really think a lot of you would love this bar. So in closing, Steve asked me to be honest with him. He said give him honest feedback because he's looking to improve his soaps. So this is what I say to Steve. How well are you selling? If you're selling well, then just keep doing what you're doing because everyone's going to have a different opinion. But if you feel like you need to sell more, my only real criticism or advice would be to tone the fragrances down, because some of these are a little too strong. But of course, I'm speaking from the perspective of a man. You also need to know your audience. Are your audience men, women, or children? Because I tell you, this Blackberry Cream would be beloved by kids. I guarantee it. This smells like candy. It's exactly what this smells like. It's not something that I want to smell like, and probably most adults don't. But kids will go crazy for this bar. So my question to you is, do kids know about this bar? Because if they don't, you need to push it to kids. I guarantee they'll be harassing their parents to buy it for them. And that's what you want. Or are your scents just geared towards women? If they're geared towards women, then you don't really need to tone the fragrance down. But I say if you want to be more appealing to men, which I'm not saying you need to do that, but I'm saying if you want to be, then I think you should tone the fragrances down. You know, check out your competitors, Dr. Squatch, Sudsy Bear, companies like that. And most of their bars are much more subtle. And that's because they're geared more towards men. So it's really up to you. Who do you want your target audience to be? Men, women, or children, I know you want to try to sell to all of them, and that's fine too. And if you want to sell to all of them, then maybe you should just keep doing what you're doing now. But on the bars that you do want to make for men, I just say tone the fragrance down. But overall, I think you're doing a good job, and I give your company a thumbs up. So if any of my viewers have tried Making Good Scentz, leave a comment down below and let us know what you think about it. And if you have any constructive feedback, write it out and Steve will read it and take it into consideration. So even though I wasn't a fan of all the scents, I still think Steve has done a really good job with his company. So props for that, and especially props for Clover and Aloe. I really love this one. So that's about it for this review. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and God bless.